Hey guys, what's going on? Retire on Dividends here. Wanted to make an update to the TSLY and CRSH funds to see how they are doing comparably, side by side next to each other since they have launched. So if you don't know what CRSH is, one of essentially the short option income ETFs. Obviously, you have the YieldMax covered call ETFs, which, they do their thing. Then you have the ones that, essentially do the opposite. They make money, the opposite direction of what the covered call ETFs do. Of course, they're capped as well. So this is not an exact one-to-one match where if you bought 50% of TSLY and 50% of CRSH, it's not the perfect scenario because the big jumps could kill you either way. So obviously, we have new additions now. We have CRSH, fiat, and dips. I don't plan on covering fiat and dips like I do with CRSH because I just don't think it's necessary. I think covering TSLY and CRSH itself gives you an idea of how these funds could work. But if there is really that much need, maybe down the road, or if there's just extra time, I could just throw in something. If you guys care that much to look at it, but I'm not sure how popular these funds are, to be honest. Actually, let's go look at the net asset value of this fund. I'm just curious now because I don't really pay attention to it. Where is it? Shares outstanding. Net asset value is about 12 mil. So yeah, that's not that big. But still, it's a lot of money. So obviously, there is interest. So this fund does make money, which means it's going to be around. These other ones are probably smaller. I'm assuming CRSH is the biggest because it came out, the earliest. So anyway, let's take a look at this spreadsheet and see where we're at. So, for the most part, here's a quick recap of what each one does. They both have a synthetic. So the TSLY, their synthetic is a sell put buy call, right? So both are, those are bullish transactions. CRSH is the opposite. It's a buy put sell call, and those are bearish transactions. And that's, these are the longer term positions that they make. And then they have the weeklies where, TSLY, they sell a call every week. And then CRSH on the other side, they sell a put. Obviously selling a call is bearish and then selling a put is bullish. And then, there's a little, I call it defense, where CRSH does buy the call. So it's like an additional holding, which you'll see, which is, when you try to compare the two holdings to see one-to-one, they do have that as the addition. But again, you guys don't care about that. Let's get into the tracker. I did mark it where I did leave off. Where is it? There it is. So last video was right there. Let me there you go. If I zoom in, no, I can't. I gotta zoom out. All right, so last video. So the last time I covered this, it was July 8th. So we'll start from there. So anything I highlighted in dark gray, those are the big changes, okay? So we'll just look at those. So like on July 11th, Tesla went down 8.44%. Hopefully this screen is, big enough visually, because it's easy to cover it this way. But anyway, Tesla went down 8.44%. Let me know if you guys want me to zoom in for next time, but hopefully if you guys are on the phone or the computer, it's good either way. Anyway, like I said, Tesla went down 8.44%, TSLY went down 6.77%, and CRSH went up 8.71%. So again, comparably, if you just own both funds, you'd be up 1.93% on that day. So obviously some days it works out, some days it doesn't. So that's good. And then the next day, Tesla recovered, went up 2.99%, slight recovery. So TSLY captured most of it. It went up 2.8%, but CRSH went down 2.09%, right? So although TSLY didn't capture the full upside, it captured most of it, and CRSH did not capture nearly, didn't go down as much as Tesla. So overall, it went up, between owning the two, you'd be up 0.7%. Now, skimming through going up to the next big change, not that big here, but Tesla went down 3.14% on July 17th. So Tesla went down 2.75% and Crash went up 2.02. So in the end, that day was a loss. Yeah, ITD change. I could squeeze a little more on the screen actually. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so we were on 717. All right, so continuing. By the way, I have the inception to date change. This is like from day one, how much the fund has gone up or down had you own equally weighted shares of each. So if we go to July 19th, that's when I became an older man. Tesla went down 4.02%. TSLY only went down 3.65%. And Crash only went up 3.58. So almost a wash for the day. But in the end, you would have lost 0.07%. The next day, I did not highlight the next day, but I'll cover it real quick. July 20th, Tesla recovered 5.15%. And TSLY only went up 3.73, but Crash only went down 3.45. So in the end, that was a gain of 0.27%. So yeah, if you own TSLY only, you would have taken the gain of 3.73%, which is capped. But if you own both, obviously with Tesla going up, Crash would have been going down. But in the end, you actually did not lose money. It was almost a wash. Again, it's hard to buy both of these funds. And, if you're like a Tesla bull, if you believe in the company long term, I just can't see myself buying into any of these funds because I'd like to, think these companies are going to go up for the long term in price. So eventually these short plays, these are more to me like short-term plays, which I'm not looking to do. I'm looking to own most of these funds for the long term. But either way. All right, so Tesla on July 24th, Tesla went down 12.33%. TSLY went down 10.5%. That was a big hit day. Crash went up 10.39%, so it did offset most of the loss on TSLY. So you would have only been down 0.1%. So had you owned TSLY only, you'd be down 10.5%. Had you owned TSLY and Crash, you'd be down 0.1%. So again, days like that, it makes sense to own both. All right, so next day, July 27th, that was the next big day. Tesla jumped 5.6%. TSLY went up 4.17%. Crash went down 3.94%. So overall, you'd be up 0.23%. Okay. And look at the ITG change. You'd only be down 0.43%. So not that bad. Here we have a whole bunch of days down 4%, up 4%, down 6%, down 4, down 4. So, going kind of down the line, you see TSLY down 2.8, up 3.5, down 5, down 4, down 3, and then Crash up 4, down 4. So in the end, like, how did it do during that insane week? So if you look, the first day, you would have been up 1.51%. The next day, you would have been down 0.73%. The next day, you would have been up 0.89%. So those 2 days are essentially a wash. But the next day, you would have been down 1.21%. And then the following day, you'd be down 0.57%. So you can see the change from right before that started, you were down 0.43% ITD. So in the end, you only lost essentially 0.1% after all that, disruption. So because as an income fund, you're okay for the most part for these funds staying capital flat, and that's exactly what happened that week. All right, so last but not least, we did have ex-dividend date. I kind of eliminate the distribution from our calculation. But obviously that day, you would have been down 2.17%. And then the day after that, Tesla went up 3.69%, and Tesla went up 4.5. Crash went down 1.29. So you would have gained 3.21%. So how did Crash only go down 1.29? Not exactly sure, but either way, that put a pretty good number. How the hell did that happen? 16.25. Yeah, okay. No, the ITD change that day, which is an unusual day, that you would make 3.21% in one day. How the hell did that happen? 1301. Yeah, 1301. I don't know, man. It went up 4.5% in one day, and Crash only went down 1.29. I have to check the numbers on that. But that being said, assuming it's accurate, the ITD change, you'd now be up 2.74%. And again, I'm tracking this from May 2nd, which is when the fund Crash launched. And I put Tesla side by side from there. So again, so you could see the ITD, in green. We were up 3.9, even 5.8, even 10%. So it does happen. So I guess big days like that are possible. So anyway, that's the update on a daily basis. And then I just have this little total return thing here. So you can see when Crash launched on 5/2, Tesla was 1580. Today it's 1312. That's a capital loss of 268. They did pay 331 in distributions or dividends, whatever you want to call it. So that's a total return of 63 cents, which is a total return percentage of 3.98%. Now, Crash, on the other hand, launched at $20.09 as of August 9th, which is this past Friday. They are at 1605. That's a capital loss of $4.04. Dividends total 262, but total return is still negative $1.43. And total return percentage is in the negative, obviously, of 7.09%. So in total, again, owning them both, you'd essentially, I guess, from inception, you'd be down up into, let's see how that even worked out, because the numbers, again, I have to check the other sheet, but in total, it's showing that you'd be down because Crash total return is in the negative 7.09% with distribution. And then TSLY is only up 3.98%. But we go to the tracker ITD change is up 2.74%. But either way, maybe something's not right there. But either way, the total return numbers, they are what they are. So these are not lying. But the moral of the story is, should you own both funds equally weighted? And my answer is no. Because you're going to be capped both ways, right? When Tesla goes up very high or Tesla goes down very low, eventually you'll get capped one way or the other because Tesla moves very drastically. So will it stay a happy medium? It may work out, but if Tesla has a crazy bull run, then Crash is going to bring you down with it, right? So it's like you're going to miss out on the upside. But if you think Tesla is just going to stay where it's at forever, then maybe owning these two is for you, right? But I don't know. I just don't see it. So it may be looking not too bad as of right now. Again, based on the numbers I'm presenting. But it's tough. You see how the days react. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But I would personally just rather own one of the bullish fund outright, the covered call ETF outright, than owning the two. So that's just my opinion. And again, the numbers, I know they are a little confusing, but this calculation you know, again, this just tracks the daily movement of each. Total return, I would trust that for the overall total return so you can see the full picture. Obviously, since Crash launched and you bought in, you'd be down. Yeah, which sucks, but it's all timing. The timing of that fund wasn't really that great. But at least TSLY is in the positive since May 2nd. That's the only saving grace here, right? Anyway, that's the update of the funds for TSLY versus Crash. It is what it is. These funds, sometimes I guess if you use them properly, you could probably make money, because either way, you know, if you think about it, if you own TSLY and Crash, you know, when Tesla goes up, you know, you could buy Crash that day. When Tesla goes down, you could buy TSLY that day. So there's always a discount for one of these. So that's how you could play it. But I don't know, man. You guys let me know what you think. Do you own both? And how have your numbers been looking? Does it look pretty good? Or do you just stay away from these short plays? But yeah, that's all I got. So again, this was an update, I think over a month ago. Maybe I'll do it every other month, every month. I don't know. Again, I'm gonna have to revisit the totals here to see how the total return here is not matching the ITD date change, but it probably has something to do with me taking out the distribution. And this is only really comparing the capital 2.74%. So either way. All right, guys. So that's all I got for today. If you guys enjoy this content, please hit the like button. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comments below. And yeah, that's all I got. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. As always, not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. I did this video way too early in the morning, so obviously not my best performance, but we'll do better next time. I promise. All right, later.